I got to be honest, though. Jalen Hurts, the football player, no doubt he's a good football player. Jalen Hurts, the quarterback, sometimes I'm not sure. Sometimes I'm not sure how good of a quarterback he is. And
what about today made you feel that?
They just don't put him in situations where they're like, it doesn't seem like they want him to be aggressive or take chances. I mean, they let him throw deep, of course, but they don't give him the reign that other quarterbacks, like Keenan, you had him at 5. They don't let him have the reign that the other 4 have, or even some of the guys behind him have. I think they love him as a football player for sure, but they try to protect him, it seems like, a lot.
He feels a little bit like early Lamar. I felt like they did that a lot with like before Lamar. Because that was the big thing with Lamar was play with a lead. You don't feel comfortable, like the narrative around him. Can't feel comfortable playing from a deficit. That's going to make things easy, first reads, and he's not going to be able to throw well from the pocket. Obviously, he has graduated much past that. Lamar can do literally whatever he wants to. Today, I had his rushing over in a small little bet. Didn't hit it all because he just said, I'm just going to throw from the pocket today. 4 passing touchdowns because he is an elite passer of the football now. So, but it feels like Jalen's in that early Lamar, but it's weird because I feel like he has when he needs to throw and when he has in big games, like he can make the throw. So it's weird how they're not letting him do it.
Yeah.
To me.
He's accurate enough. Like he's not bad on deep balls, and he's not bad when he has like throwing lanes, but just like sitting back, dissecting, like doing what Baker Mayfield does, or even what a Michael Penix does, I don't think Hurts would be successful. In fact, we've seen that that year after they made the Super Bowl where they lost to the Chiefs. We saw that where he was in the pocket a lot and it just didn't work out. They were successful enough. He's good enough to win you games, but he's not good enough to just, again, pick you apart or bring you back from a big deficit, probably, like 17, right? That'd be my benchmark. 14, you feel okay. 17, I don't know.
Didn't get to watch much of this game, to be honest. For whatever reason, YouTube TV says no thanks on this game in particular. But yeah, a lot of short stuff for Hurts, like you said. Like he had 101 yards passing today. That's incredible for a quarterback.
15 completions too. So like a decent amount of completions.
I had brought up before the season started that his season high was like 36 pass attempts in a game. They don't want him to throw the ball. I think they understand that he's like not that. That's not his skill set. Is not passing the ball for 45, 50 times to bring you back from a loss like that. It is confusing because his supporting cast is amazing. A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, and Dallas Goedert. I know Goedert wasn't in this one, but those two alone, you should be taking some deep shots, 15, 20 yards downfield, and we just don't see that from Hurts really ever. He seems to want to pull it and run it before that play develops. But, I mean, they get the dub. I think that's going to be the case with a lot of their games this year. They're going to be slow, ugly games where they play defense and can just run for 150, 200 yards and win the game that way. So, but yeah, pretty slow game, pretty lackluster, not a lot of big plays. Not very cool.
No, and then it's also hard because it was a complete different, like 180 from the rest of the week for the most part with a lot of these games that were just high flying back and forth.
It felt like a week 14 or 15 type of week of football.
It truly did.
This is one of the more explosive week 2s. I mean, I'm sure we could go back and find them, but man, this felt like mid to late season. It was just insanity all over.
One thing I want to point out before we move on to the next game, I walked into Sunday thinking to myself, okay, even if the Chiefs do lose this week, they have the Giants next week. They should be perfectly fine against them. Now if the offense can actually look comfortable like that, I know it's in it's in New York.
New York.
So
I said it 3 weeks ago. I said the Giants will beat the Kansas City Chiefs week 3. I didn't know that they'd be 0-2 at this point, but they're gonna do it.
Good. To my point, and my point to you, Timmy, was I didn't agree with you at that time because I didn't think that the Chiefs would be 2-0 at this point. But this was going to be a trap game. I don't think they do because I think the Chiefs understand if they go 0-3, the playoffs are really, really difficult. There's not many, I'm not sure if any, but like not many teams that all make the playoffs when you're 0-3. I don't know the numbers on it, but I know
0-3
it's
and down 2 of your star receivers. I know
yeah.
Worthy he'll probably be back next week. Like, they could force him in. They could win this game without him too, so they might just hold him out and keep him healthy.
I would probably hold him out and then try to get him back for the Ravens game the week after, which is why this week against the Giants, they have to treat it like a playoff game, because if they go 0-3 going and playing the Ravens the week after that, that's going to be very difficult. It's going to be real interesting to see, because Mahomes had to put on the Superman cape with 66 yards rushing and doing everything, and it still wasn't enough. But
And Chiefs, if it wasn't for that Kelsey drop that led to the pick, I mean, obviously they're right in that game, but I mean, that's right near the end zone. Who knows how it turns out if he just either drops it clean or just hauls it in like Travis Kelsey should.
And those are the things that happen. Those are the things that typically happen on the other side with the Chiefs. And there was actually one thing I wrote down that I forgot to say, and I'm going to quickly say now while we're kind of talking about them again. It felt like the Eagles dictated pace in this game, when typically always when you're playing the Chiefs, especially in big spots, it seems like the other teams dictate, or the Chiefs kind of dictate. Like, I felt them going for the 4th down early in the 3rd. That felt like a spot where they would typically punt. But I felt like they felt to themselves that they need to, with how sound this Eagles team is, with how they usually don't turn the ball over. They're smart, fundamental. They play good offensively and defensively. That like kind of the Eagles kind of dictated the pace of what the Chiefs were doing, and I thought that was interesting.